Big night for Badger basketball. The team taking on the Buckeyes. They'll tip off the Big Ten tournament.
Plus, on this International Women's Day, we're examining how pregnant women are treated behind bars.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Well, by this time tomorrow, winter storm will have covered much of southern Wisconsin with a fresh blanket of snow. The alert day could mean a messy evening commute.
Will area schools declare another snow day? It might be a problem for many districts that have already added extra learning hours because of so many snow days so far this winter. Some communities have already issued snow emergencies. So far, our list includes Janesville, McFarland, and Blue Mounds. You can find more information on our website, channel3000.com.
And Julian Searide is out of the weather patio now with more on what we can expect. Julian?
Well, the first warn alert day is all we've been talking about, and it's what we've been watching over the last couple of days. And we are going to see those impacts really starting into our Thursday afternoon, especially heading into our Friday morning as well. So Thursday evening's commute and Friday morning is really going to be the timetable of where we're going to see really any kind of issues on the roadways that could be bringing up the questions for parents and kids all around the metropolitan area of are they going to have school. It's going to be something to monitor, but here's a breakdown of the alert day in itself. From Thursday afternoon to our Friday morning, we're going to be anticipating the snow system to be bringing around 6 to 9 inches of snowfall for many areas of southern Wisconsin. Some areas could see more, some areas could see a bit less. It really depends on where and how heavy that snow really starts to fall for us as we begin to our Thursday evening and into the overnight hours. But here's a look at our winter weather bulletins. For the western side, from Grant and Crawford counties, especially to the northwest, is where we have that winter storm warning in effect and a winter weather advisory in effect as well. But we'll walk through exactly what the timing is going to be like with the storm in a few moments. Till then, back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. You can stay up to date on school closings and the weather in your area by downloading our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC weather. Well, it is a big night for Badger basketball down in Chicago tonight.
Taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes for a chance to move on in the Big Ten tournament. Andrew Banster live outside the United Center. And tell us, Andrew, more about the scene down there tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, you're seeing a lot of Badgers fans and, of course, Ohio State fans swarming the United Center here in Chicago. But it's going to be a big one tonight. The 12th seeded Badgers, like you said, looking to move on with a win here tonight. The Badgers' streaky season, fans told me today, gives them hope that they can catch fire in March. One Badgers fan I talked to is from Chicago. His friends actually call him Bucky Boy. Another fan I talked to took the day off classes at UW-Oshkosh to see her Badgers.
Coming from suburbs of Chicago, so Mundelein. Normally that's Illinois territory, but I hold my own, so this is going to be a fun night, hopefully.
I talked to one of my teachers and I was like, well, I have this big opportunity that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So I was like, would you mind if I miss class for it? And he goes, yeah, go for it.
Tip-off is set for 5:30 as anxious Badgers fans roll into the United Center, lose tonight, and they're bursted out of the tournament bubble. A win sets them up against Iowa tomorrow. Now, win or loss at 10 o'clock tonight, you'll hear from me right on News 3 Now, talking to Badgers fans after the game, hopefully elated because of a win. For now, in Chicago at the United Center, I'm Andrew Vanstra with News 3 Now.
Hope so. Have fun, Andrew. Thank you. Millions of women marched across the world today to mark International Women's Day, calling on leaders for equality.
It's a time of crisis in the Philippines where unemployment and violence against women both on the rise. In Sri Lanka, women demand more help from rising inflation. While in France, many want the government to keep their hands off their retirement. Many protests also called for solidarity with women in Iran and Afghanistan, where freedoms took a blow last year.
A brave few took to the streets of Kabul as the Taliban continues to strip millions of women of their rights, including access to education and health care. The United Nations warns that global gender equality is backtracking, predicting that full equality is now 300 years away. We don't often think about women behind bars when we're celebrating something like International Women's Day.
But their challenges were the focus of an advocacy group at the state capitol today. Tahlil Mohdin was there, and she joins us now. Tahlil?
Well, right now, the Department of Corrections does have policies in place limiting the use of restraints on pregnant women to extreme circumstances. But the advocates I spoke with are pushing for more.
The day of my birth, I was shackled with belly chains and handcuffed in front.
Pregnancy behind bars.
I was surrounded by 3 correctional officers and had no one to support me. This was my first birth, and I was so terrified and confused.
Members of the advocacy group Free and their supporters say when it comes to showing respect for people who have made mistakes,
Wisconsin lags behind.
Senator Lena Taylor is co-sponsoring a bill called the Dignity Act to catch up with the more than a dozen states across the country with laws prohibiting or restricting shackling pregnant prisoners.
I couldn't believe, as a mother, as someone who has gone through pregnancy, that we would shackle individuals during such an experience.
Specifically, the bill seeks to end shackling for women behind bars beginning 6 months into their pregnancy through 6 weeks postpartum.
I've seen firsthand kind of the devastation that can be caused by incarceration.
Similar bills have been introduced but haven't been successful. But Taylor says previous attempts have led to some change at the county level.
So we know it can work and not change public safety. So now we have something different, I think, than we've ever had before, which is receipts.
She's also willing to compromise on the details in the bill if it means more protection for women behind bars.
They too are human. They too are human and deserve dignity.
In addition to ending shackling of women behind bars, bill advocates are also pushing for doula services. State leaders supporting the bill say they have already gotten some bipartisan support, but expect progress to be slow with budget season.
Tahlil, thank you. Echoing 2020, a legislative committee met this week and is now poised to repeal vaccine mandates put forward by the Evers administration.
The new rules went into effect last fall, but a vote tomorrow could change all of that. With more on what it means for Wisconsin children, here is political reporter Will Keneally. Will?
So this relates to the shots that Wisconsin students have to get as part of going to school. The Evers Health Services Department last year put forward a rule to add a series of shots. Now students entering 7th and 12th grades have to get the meningitis shot. For younger kids, parents would have to prove a past chickenpox diagnosis in addition to getting the vaccine, not just offering up that information. But the Republican-controlled committee that oversees those administrative rules isn't buying it.
I do believe that there are some issues within this rule that do pose some undue hardships on parents.
So the committee is scheduled tomorrow to take a vote on whether to get rid of those vaccine rules. And based on some of the questions that we just heard, we're expecting the Republican-controlled committee to scrap them. And throughout the 9 hours of testimony, we heard some of the same critiques of public health officials that we did hear throughout the pandemic. We'll hear more from those officials coming up tonight at 6.
We will see you at 6, Will. Thank you. New at 5, Madison police are investigating after a student was hit with a bat during a fight at Memorial High School. According to an email to parents, school staff was alerted about the incident around 8 o'clock this morning and immediately identified the students involved. The incident happened in a school bathroom. The student who was hit with the bat allegedly didn't have any visible injuries. In an email, district spokesperson Tim Lamont said, "We are thankful nobody was seriously injured as a result of today's incident and continue to investigate the altercation." He also said the student who attacked the other will face disciplinary action based on the district's behavior education plan.
City of Fitchburg holding a public meeting tonight to address safety concerns on its roads there. The main concern, South Cyene Road. That's where a driver hit and killed Badger Ridge Middle School principal Beth Steffen back in January. Tonight's meeting will go over background and updates for reconstruction there, and there will be an opportunity for the public to share their input. Virtual attendance is encouraged, but there will be a room for people to attend the meeting in person. It'll be at Fire Station number 3 on South Cyene Road, 6:30 to 8:30. You can find a Zoom link to attend virtually in this story linked at channel3000.com.
New at 5, as Attorney General Josh Kaul advocates for crime-fighting funds for the Department of Justice. Today, he gave legislators a tour of the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. The tour offers lawmakers a rare behind-the-scenes look at the critical work being done at the lab as they help solve crimes across the state. The Attorney General says the labs are an important part of the justice system and must be equipped to respond efficiently. That includes keeping the 3 state facilities fully staffed.
The work that our crime scene response team does is supplemented by other analysts throughout the lab who volunteer to be part of the crime scene response team. And while that's great and we appreciate having their expertise, when they go to a crime scene response, that takes them away from the work that they otherwise could be doing in the lab. And so having more crime scene response specialists will be helpful as well.
The crime-fighting budget includes requests for 4 additional toxicology positions, 10 additional DNA positions, and 2 additional crime scene response positions.
With more snow on the way, the need for help to cover heating and cooling costs is more important than ever. News 3 Now once again partnering with the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and Energy Service, Inc. for a day of warmth. A telethon, a donation drive to raise money for those in need all across the state. It'll be held tomorrow afternoon, 4 to 6:30 p.m. You can donate ahead of time as well. We have more information at channel3000.com. Julian has the latest on the weather alert days next at 5.
Plus, how U.S. leaders are working to fight the opioid crisis as overdose deaths continue to rise. We'll have that story when we come back. And later, the Big Top Parade in Baraboo will have some big guests as Grand Marshals this year. It's likely their last appearance ever. We'll have the details tonight at 6.
A check at Wall Street. The Dow ends the day in the red, down some 58 points, while the NASDAQ jumps almost 46. S&P 500 adds about a half dozen. We'll be right back.
Remember this, and the false elector scheme. In Wisconsin, extremist Dan Kelly was the right-wing lawyer behind the scenes of it all. The bipartisan January 6th Commission revealed Kelly advised Trump operatives as special counsel to overturn the will of the people and overthrow the election results. Kelly even went on tour promoting the big lie. On April 4th, vote like democracy depends on it, because it does.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
When Aspen Dental told me that my dentures was ready, I was so excited. I love the confidence. I love that I can flash this beautiful smile and make the world smile with me. I would totally say Aspen Dental changed my life.
Aspen Dental makes new smiles affordable. Right now, get 20% off dentures. We do anything to make you smile. Schedule your consultation today.
Sexual assault of an 11-year-old. No prison time. He raped a military veteran, left her for dead. Just 2.5 years. Raped a mentally disabled 14-year-old. Probation. How the heck did this happen? Janet Protasewicz.
If you could go back in time, would you have ruled any differently? I would say no.
Really? No time in prison?
I would say no.
Protasewicz set violent criminals free. Again and again. Tell Judge Protasewicz, stop protecting criminals.
Our first warned weather alert day is in the forecast for Thursday and Friday. We'll be breaking down the details and how you should prepare coming up.
Then Madison has a possible solution to the housing shortage, how a new ordinance of building height could combat the crisis. Tonight at 6.
A high-stakes election for a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. News 3 Now presents a debate between candidates Daniel Kelly and Janet Protasewicz in a Campaign 2023 special. Tuesday, March 21st at 4 p.m. only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
New at 5, an alarming new study shows that more children are dying from poisonings related to opioids. Researchers with the journal Pediatrics found opioids are the most common substance leading to fatal poisonings in young children. In 2018, they accounted for 52% of deaths in children 5 and younger, a significant increase from 24% in 2005. Other common substances, including over-the-counter pain, cold, and allergy medications, are also leading to deadly poisonings.
Supervision is helpful, but it's not the end-all be-all because kids are quick and poisonings can happen in a split second. So what we recommend is that parents and families should focus on preparedness and prevention. They should keep medications and other toxic substances out of sight and out of mind.
Officials say 3/5 of poisoning deaths happen in a child's home, a wake-up call for parents and caregivers to keep their kids safe. And opioid overdose deaths have been increasing in the U.S. for decades, but the CDC attributes a recent rise to synthetic opioids like fentanyl.
The Biden administration is addressing drug trafficking, but many say more needs to be done. Mike Valerio now with the latest.
It's a synthetic opioid intended to help patients manage severe pain, but fentanyl is now driving the drug overdose crisis across the country.
Fentanyl overdoses cause the equivalent of a new September 11th every 2 weeks.
Provisional data from the CDC revealing more than 2/3 of all overdose deaths are linked to synthetic opioids like fentanyl, leaving almost no community untouched.
It hurts every day.
It was something I had heard of, but not something I would have ever thought would have killed our child, ever.
While the federal government has declared the opioid crisis a public health emergency, there's a new push to target fentanyl and similar substances that are exacerbating the epidemic, including a proposed bill aimed at labeling Mexican drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations.
This problem is a national security threat. Fentanyl is a killer, and the people killing Americans reside out in the open in Mexico.
But some who have lost loved ones are taking matters into their own hands.
When my son died, I had never heard of fentanyl before.
Jaime Puerta lost his son Daniel to fentanyl poisoning in April 2020. He claims Daniel bought a fake pill from a dealer on Snapchat. Through his nonprofit called Void, Victims of Illicit Drugs, Puerta is working to raise awareness and change the conversation.
We have to look at it as a poison and not a war on drugs, but a war on fentanyl.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio.
As we've said, an alert day bringing snow to our area beginning tomorrow. Julian tells us what we can expect.
Well, we're due for our pretty much weekly Thursday snowstorm, so let's get right into it. Talking about our alert day, as we get into tomorrow, this is what we're going to be expecting. For all of southern Wisconsin, we can see many areas reaching from 6 to 9 inches of snowfall beginning Thursday afternoon into our Friday morning, which will be making our Thursday evening commutes quite a bit of a headache, especially as we get into our Friday morning. But the good news is, once we get into the later parts of our Friday morning, we are expecting for the system to pretty much be fizzling out. So the rest of our Friday will be pretty much fine as we head into the weekend. Now, as we get into what else we're going to be seeing for us, starting with the winter weather bulletins. As of right now, winter weather advisory is pretty much impacting areas from Lone Rock into the east and north. That's going to be the purple indicated on your screen. The pink is the winter storm warning, which will go into effect once we get into noon hour of tomorrow until about 6 a.m. heading into our Friday. And that's from Grant to Crawford County and areas to the north near La Crosse, and even parts of Minnesota and for Iowa. So let's go ahead and walk through what we're going to be expecting for us. For tonight, may see any kind of radar indicated rain, but it's not going to really hit the ground. Dew points are still rather high, low, so there's not a whole lot of moisture in our air as of right now. Getting into our Thursday morning, things are going to be rather fine. So as you're heading out the door, most of Thursday is going to be fine for us. Temperatures will be into the middle 30s. We'll warm up just a bit heading into around the noon hour, but this is when we're going to start to see a bit of that action starting to take place, especially just west of Dane County. As you can see, a bit of that snow is going to start to flow its way in, especially around the 3 o'clock hour. So once we get into around 5 o'clock, we're looking for it to be a bit more widespread. But from Platteville, Mineral Points, Monroe, and for Janesville, we're looking at a bit more heavier band of snowfall to really impact those areas. So especially if you're just more west of Lone Rock, it's going to be where we're seeing a bit more of that heavier band later into our Thursday evening. Heading into Thursday nights, we're going to start to see a bit more lighter snowfall between Prairie du Chien, Boscobel, and Platteville. But for Madison, this is going to be our time where we're going to start to see a bit more heavier snowfall as we get into the overnight hours. Transitioning into our Friday morning, it'll start to fizzle out just a bit. So now we're back to the light snowfall, some flurries, and then once we get into around the 7 o'clock hour, mainly going to be seeing flurries at this point. So as you're heading out the door, or if schools haven't called anything at this point, traveling may be just a little bit slippery for some areas, but overall, once we get to the rest of our Friday morning hours, the snow in itself is going to be pretty much out of the area, moving mainly to the eastern side of southern Wisconsin. The rest of our Friday, it's going to pretty much end up being fine. So we're looking around 6 inches of snowfall when everything is all said and done. The heaviest band of snowfall is mainly going to be late Thursday evenings to Thursday nights. And then once we get to our early Friday mornings, mainly going to be light snow that's left. So much of southern Wisconsin is under that 6 inches range. Some areas could see a bit more, but overall, we are still going to be looking at things to stay into the 6 to about 9 inches range once things are all said and done. It's a quick wrap up of how things are going to be shaping up for us getting into the next few days. Well, we're looking at that snow that could be impacting our commutes, cold temperatures for this weekend, and another round of some snowfall as well from Saturday into our Sunday, especially as we are going to be springing forward. A quick look at our traffic as we wrap things up for us. We are going to be seeing the Beltline rather smooth, except for a little bit of slow spots on the western side of the Beltline. But as of right now, not too bad. That's going to do it for weather and traffic. Over to you.
All right, Julian, thank you. A scary situation in New Jersey after a man driving a Tesla lost his steering wheel while he was driving. The man says he was driving in the left lane of the highway when the steering wheel popped off. He says that he couldn't steer his car at all and is very lucky that the road was straight. The man was eventually able to stop using a highway divider. No one was injured in the incident, and after reaching out to Tesla, the company replaced his car. Coming up, the head of the Federal Aviation Administration testifying on Capitol Hill again this week as airline problems continue to arise. We'll have details after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
All you have to do is point. Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Fry Construction invites you to celebrate spring with our big spring thaw sale. We're talking about savings of 23%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Get on board with our spring thaw sale. Save 23% off gutters or insulation with any full roofing project. Schedule your consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
I'm Mark Farrell with Shamrock Farms, and this is my John Deere. We farm corn and soybeans on approximately 5,000 acres. Well, what we think makes Sloan stand out is the people. One Sunday night, I caught a piece of wire with the combine, and it was wrapping up around the cylinder in the combine. And Jerry Bunig came out at 6:30 that night. He's waist deep into that combine with the pliers, cutting and got me going again that same night yet. And that's why I think Sloan's first.
A convicted felon kidnapped and raped a 15-year-old girl, abducting her off the street in broad daylight. Judge Janet Protasewicz could have sentenced him to 20 years. Instead, she put him back on our streets.
What detractors would say is you having been soft on a violent sexual crime.
I would say that that's ridiculous. Judge Protasewicz puts our families at risk, and putting her on our Supreme Court, that's what's ridiculous. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
There's nothing like volunteering at the fire department.
There's nothing like hitting the waves.
But with my moderate to severe eczema, it hasn't always been easy.
Since my skin was so irritated and itchy.
And even worse with all my gear on.
Now, I'm staying ahead of my eczema.
There's a power inside all of us to live our passion. And Dupixent works on the inside to help heal your skin from within. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema. so adults can have long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor.
Healing from within is a powerful thing.
Ask your eczema specialist how Dupixent can help heal your skin from within.
All you have to do is point. Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The acting chief of the FAA on Capitol Hill again today, facing tough questions by lawmakers over several recent incidents involving planes on the ground and also in the sky.
Ivan Rodriguez tells us many are calling on the FAA for industry improvements.
From a near collision on the runway.
2172 going around. American 2172, roger.
To unruly passengers mid-flight.
Tell them to bring SWAT to shoot me down, because they're going to have to shoot me down today. Remember that.
The safety of air travelers remains center stage.
Well, we're seeing a system that is under stress.
Dennis Taser for the Allied Pilots Association says not only is the aviation system stressed to the max, there have also been many retirements and new people coming in.
We've got airlines scheduling us to the maximums. They're reducing pilot training. They are basically running along a barbed wire fence right up to the maximums, and we shouldn't be surprised when we see these safety seals start to leak.
On Capitol Hill Wednesday,
what the heck is going on in air travel?
FAA Acting Chief Billy Nolan facing questions about recent incidents on U.S. planes, specifically disruptive or violent passengers.
Zero tolerance policy around unruly passengers, misconduct in the air. It is just simply not allowed.
Nolan says next week the FAA will hold a safety summit in order to hear from stakeholders about how the agency can enhance performance, a conversation Tager says he's looking forward to.
We're hopeful that the safety summit may make a difference, but it's not going to be a comfortable space because we're fighting for our passenger safety.
The FAA understands and embraces the importance of continuously raising the bar on aviation safety.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Last year, the FAA logged more than 2,300 reports of unruly passenger behavior.
Investigators were initiated in 823 cases, and 80 others were referred to the FBI for criminal review. We'll get a final check of your first warn forecast when we come back.
Boy Paint gives every room of your home a fresh new look. With over 1,300 colors to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect look for your interior. Pick up a gallon and update your home with DuraClean Interior Paint. Just $21.97 after 11% rebate. For a paint that's washable, scrubbable, and stain resistant, choose Forever Interior Paint and Primer in one. Create a new look for your home for $29.98 per gallon after 11% rebate at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
At Lawton Cates, we're all about comebacks. Whether it's helping you recover after an accident or return to the job following an injury, we fight the odds and the insurance company for our clients every day. Your life counts. Lawton Cates.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today.
Patio enclosures.
There's nothing better than a great night's sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic from Steinhafels. Tempur-Pedic mattresses are designed to make aches and pains a thing of the past by relieving pressure points and supporting the body as no other mattress can. Right now, Queen Tempur-Pedics start at just $40 per month with Steinhafels 72-month financing. Plus, you get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Isn't it time you got a great night's sleep? Relax. It's Steinhafels.
Two candidates for Supreme Court, two very different beliefs. Judge Janet Protasewicz, she believes women should have the freedom to make their own decisions on abortion. Extremist Dan Kelly, he supports the 1849 law that takes away women's rights and criminalizes abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and health of the mother. So who represents you? An extremist or a common sense judge? Vote by April 4th.
This year, say yes.
I couldn't be more thrilled with my results. I'm over the moon happy. Look at that waist.
Yes to confidence.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
Yes to a new shape.
These are my results. I am so happy.
Yes to a new you.
I'm Dr. Elena Vega. Imagine you could remove this much fat from multiple areas all at one time.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good.
I have the flattest tummy that I've had in 25 years.
I'm able to wear things that I never thought I would wear again.
I can wear a little black dress. I feel sexy.
Find out how you can get $250 off with our New Year exclusive offer. Call 1-800-993-0752 or go to sonobello.com.
We've got a lot of news coming up. Tonight, the Justice Department's blistering rebuke of policing in a major American city as it separately launches a nationwide probe into the use of force. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Julian rejoins us as we get ready for another blast of winter tomorrow.
That's right on schedule, right?
Right, it's Thursday.
Every Thursday. So the alert date and the forecast, folks, is going to be going into effect from Thursday afternoon into our Friday morning. We're going to be seeing some areas that could see 6 to 9 inches of snowfall through Friday morning, but all of southern Wisconsin is going to be under this alert day. Now, there's two halves to this system. We're looking for Thursday, light rain or snow very early into the afternoon before it transitions itself into heavier snow once we get into the evening commute and for our Thursday nights. Starts to taper off once we get into our late Thursday nights into our Friday morning. And then once we get into Friday afternoon, things are going to be wet, but overall, we're looking for it to dry out. Here's a quick look at our 10-day forecast. Once the alert days are done, don't forget, we get an extra hour of daylight this weekend, but temperatures are going to stay in the mid-30s, and we could see some more snow.
All right, CBS Evening News is next. We're back in 30 minutes with more updates on News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned.